Personal protective equipment, also called PPE, is important to keep your body and health safe on the job. Properly protecting your eyes, face, head, feet, hands, and hearing can save you from injury and wage loss. When we consider how to make a workplace safe, the first choice should always be engineering controls. In other words, to remove a hazard altogether. The second choice in making the workplace safe is administrative controls. Administrative controls are policies or procedures to avoid a hazard that can't be eliminated. If these first two controls aren't feasible, the third choice is the use of personal protective equipment, or PPE. Supervisors are responsible for supplying you with the PPE necessary to perform your tasks safely. Your supervisor is also responsible for giving you proper training for using any required PPE. You as an employee are also required to properly use and maintain any PPE supplied to you. If you notice any faulty or damaged PPE, report it immediately and have it replaced or repaired before use. Haskell requires that each employee must wear the minimum PPE of ANSI-rated safety glasses with side shields, hard hats, and sturdy work boots. Employees are also required to comply to the minimum dress code standards. Shirts should have a minimum of 4-inch sleeves, pants should be made of full-length durable materials, and then boots should be made of a strong leather material. All loose clothing, long hair, or jewelry that could cause a hazard around tools, equipment, or machinery must also be removed or tied back safely. Eye and face protection. Your eyes are a vulnerable and sensitive part of your body, and it's very important to protect them properly. Approved eye and face protection must meet ANSI standard Z87 or Z87.1 while working on any Haskell project. Prescription glasses must also meet ANSI standard Z87 or Z87.1. If your lenses and frames don't meet these standards, overglasses must be worn. Dark glasses are permitted only for daylight use. Any alternative face protection, such as welding hoods or face shields, must also meet ANSI standard Z87 or Z87.1. Head protection. Construction sites pose constant hazards from flying and falling objects. Most people aren't thinking about potential overhead hazards. For this reason, head protection is always required. Your hard hat is the first line of defense from a potential overhead injury. Hard hats must be kept in good repair and in a sanitary condition. Hand protection. Your hands are one of your most important tools. Hands and fingers also need protection from injuries and other health hazard exposures. Hand exposures can include skin absorption of harmful chemicals, severe cuts, abrasions, punctures, chemical burns, thermal burns, and extreme temperatures. Different tasks may require different types of gloves. The proper gloves should be determined before you begin your task. There are specific gloves to be used with certain chemicals. Be sure you're using the correct gloves to protect your hands against chemicals. When working with welding or burning, leather gloves should be used. If you're working with a sharp metal blade or other sharp objects, chainmail or Kevlar gloves would be appropriate. Foot protection. Protective footwear is designed to protect the foot from physical hazards such as falling objects, stepping on sharp objects, heat and cold, wet and slippery surfaces, or exposure to corrosive chemicals. Minimum foot protection in all construction areas must be sturdy, hard-soled leather boots that cover your ankle. Respiratory protection. Protection of your lungs and respiratory system varies depending on the task and job site you're working in. Knowing the environment before working in it is key to avoiding respiratory hazards. Respiratory protection training specific to your task and associated hazards will be provided as needed. Hearing protection. Once lost, your hearing can't be replaced. Understanding potential noise exposure areas and being aware before entering a high noise area is key to protecting your hearing. OSHA's noise exposure limit restricts the amount of noise you're allowed to be exposed to in the workplace. During an 8-hour shift, your ears may be exposed to no more than 90 decibels of sound before hearing protection must be used. Engineering controls should be examined first to see if the source of the noise can be eliminated. Just because you don't feel the effects of noise exposure at the moment doesn't mean you're avoiding future hearing loss, so make sure to protect your hearing at all times. Before being asked to perform tasks with physical or health hazards, you'll receive training on the proper selection and use of appropriate personal protective equipment. Knowing how to protect yourself is important to working safely and comfortably.